And our I can statement today is, I can learn how to fancy up my writing with a thesaurus. Okay? So that's why I'm dressed up so fancy today, because that's what we're going to do, is we're going to fancy up our writing. How many of you have a dad or an uncle or a grandpa or a family member that have a tool bag or a toolbox? Raise your hand. Okay? Are there different kinds of tools in there, Laurel?
Yeah.
And why do you think a toolbox has different kinds of tools?
So like when you're like fixing up a car, you need like a different tool to fix it.
So when we are using tools to fix things or maybe to make something, we have to use different tools to do different things. Well, when we are writing, we have to use different tools, and a thesaurus is one of those tools, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So before we start, I have a story that I want to read to you. It's called Thesaurus Rex. The author is Lene Steinberg, and the illustrator is Debbie Harder. And this is going to help us hopefully understand what a thesaurus is a little bit more. Pay real close attention to what Thesaurus Rex does. Thesaurus Rex must get clean. He must wash, bathe, scour, and scrub. He's left some footprints in the tub. So let's look at these words: clean, wash, bathe, scour, scrub. Do all those kind of mean the same thing? They do. And that's what a thesaurus helps us with. That's a tool to help us in our writing. So let's talk a little bit more about what a thesaurus has. First of all, a thesaurus is very similar to a dictionary. It has synonyms, and synonyms are words that mean the same. Sometimes you need an alternate or a different word instead of repeating the same word over and over. You know, when you're writing your pieces for Mrs. Eisenhower, do sometimes you feel like you use that same word over and over again? And you want your writing to sound like Fancy Nancy's, right? We want to fancy it up. So what a thesaurus can do is we can look up the word that we're using, and it's going to give us a synonym or a word that means the same. And here's how we remember that. Synonym starts with an S, and same starts with an S. So I have a piece of writing that I wrote, and I want to read it to you, and I want you to see what you think about it. Travis, what do you think? You said I put good in there a lot? I think you might be right. I put the word good a lot. So what could we use that we've been talking about today to make my writing fancy, or more like Fancy Nancy's, and fancy it up? So circle one that you'd like, and we'll fancy it up with our thesaurus.